Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us here today. I'm going to do the thing they always do in my church on Christmas Day and Easter Sunday, where the ushers come around and ask people to get friendly with the folks in the middle. We have some stragglers still looking for seats. So if you wouldn't mind just filling in those empty single seats in the middle of the row so we can save seats along the edges for any people who might still be looking for seats, I would appreciate it. And the reserved seats in the second row, let's not take any more of those just in case we have some late students who still need a space in the room. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. Let me just say that to the people who are standing, there is an overflow room downstairs. I don't want anybody to pass out from standing. There's an overflow room downstairs with live stream. Also, and it's just downstairs. If there are any parents or other family members who need a seat for any reason, please just take one. Don't be polite. This is your day. The students and the parents and families are our priorities. So please take a seat if you need one, including any of the reserved seats at this point. Anybody with a reserved seat who's not here at this point has lost their option. So listen, it's a tough world out there. Better get used to it now. Okay. So with that, let me welcome you all. My name is Laura Aricchio, and I have the privilege of serving as the Dean of Fordham College at Lincoln Center. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you today to the second annual award ceremony for FCLC. Now, let me just tell you that I consider this class to be my own graduating class. Because you see, I arrived at Fordham in August 2019, which is the same month that many of you did. And like those of you who got here when I did, I spent the fall of 2019 adjusting to a new school with all that that entails. I met new people, I wandered the neighborhood in search of lunch spots, I got lost in the tunnels more times than I should probably admit. And by the start of the spring semester of 2020, I was really getting the hang of things. Yes, I was. It's true. You laugh, but it's true. I could navigate solo from Lowenstein to the library. I discovered the joys of Burrito Box. And I'd made new friends who made that transition so much easier. So now I thought I could finally settle in. I'd roll up my sleeves and get to work on all those projects I had dreamed up in the fall semester. Of course, the universe had other plans. So in March of 2020, those of us who had just gotten our bearings here at FCLC had to acclimate to yet another new environment, a virtual one. And we sheltered in place while the COVID pandemic took its deadly toll. And in May of 2020, we reeled along with the nation as the murder of George Floyd catalyzed a long overdue racial reckoning. And on January 6, 2021, we were eyewitnesses to an insurrection in the United States Capitol. Now, needless to say, these were not the best conditions in which to focus on academics, much less excel. And yet, excel academically is precisely what each and every student in this room did. So amid all the turmoil, despite all the chaos, while grappling with physical, emotional, and spiritual anguish, you didn't just make it through, you excelled. Now, I don't know if you've taken the time to bask in the glow of your achievements, but that's what we're going to do today. Now, I've come to understand Fordham students well enough to understand that you might be too modest to celebrate yourselves. But I also know that you are all too kind, too supportive, and too community-focused not to celebrate your classmates. So please give each other a round of applause. And while we're celebrating people, I also want to take a moment to thank my FCLC Dean's Office colleagues for all of their efforts to make today's award ceremony happen. Chief among those are Assistant Dean Rebecca Stark-Gendrano, who took the lead. With invaluable support from Alicia Girsam-Sundar and a team of student workers. So let's join them, thank them. And now last, but certainly not least, the faculty, the families, the friends of each and every student honored today also deserve our appreciation. Thank you. Because every student's achievement is always the result of a group effort. So all the students here, please stand up, turn to your friends, your families, your mentors, and give them a round of applause. So with that, I now move on to the program. I'd like to invite Dr. Karina Hogan, Director of the FCLC Honors Program, to come to the stage and kick off the celebration. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Students in the Honors Program are required to complete an accelerated core curriculum, an independent junior experience, and a senior thesis or equivalent project. Having successfully completed those requirements, the following students will receive the designation in cursu honorum upon their diploma and transcript. As your name is read, please rise and remain standing until the names of all the students who have completed the Honors Program have been read. Please hold your applause until all of the names have been read. Kaya Brown presented a senior thesis entitled Connection Collective, The Importance of Belonging and Community for POC at Fordham, directed by Dr. Ralph Vaca. Okay, please hold your applause. Kayla Champion completed a senior thesis entitled I Am Orange, Bildungsroman and the Concept of Death and Grief in Elder Gen Z, directed by James Genuine. Meredith Cohen completed a thesis entitled Bluegrass, a Traditionalist Genre of White Supremacy, directed by Matthew Gelbart. Santang Bill Doe completed a senior thesis entitled Learning to Play Games with Deep Reinforcement Learning, directed by Juntao Chen. Kevin Duffy III completed a senior thesis entitled Trials and Tribulations of the Total Synthesis of Pancreatistatin, directed by Martin DeGrande. Sophia Henderson completed a senior thesis entitled Longing for Connections, Exploration of the POC Experience at Fordham, directed by Michelle Prettyman and Brandy Monk-Payton. Alyssa Macaluso completed a senior thesis entitled Pen for the People, Analyzing the community resistance movement against New York's state plan to redevelop Penn Station and the surrounding neighborhood, directed by Annika Hinsey. Bruno Palomares completed a senior thesis entitled Literary Translation Theory and Practice, Julian Herbert's Cocaine, A User's Guide, directed by Carl Fisher. Bennett Reinhardt completed a senior thesis entitled Placing Homeless Bodies, Homelessness in New York City in Socio-Spatial Perspective, directed by Greta Gilbertson. Ada Tony Anachukwu completed a senior thesis entitled God is Trans, A Queer Spiritual Journey, directed by Catalina Jordan Alvarez and Amy Cunat. Polina Uzornikova completed a senior thesis entitled Job and the Soviet Undead, Responses to the Historical Cycle of State Violence in Late 90s Independent Russian Film, directed by Michael Asorgan. Karina Vora completed a senior thesis entitled Parks for All, a look at the distribution of parks in New York City, directed by Han Ba-moon. Carrie Wang completed a senior thesis entitled Taking a Bite, Musical Sampling as a Legal Art Form, directed by Matthew Gelbart. Emmy Weisenfeld completed a senior thesis entitled Unpacking the Clean Beauty Movement, Viewing the Implications of Clean Cosmetics Through the Lens of Consumers, Brands, Policy, and Science within the United States, directed by Yulia Komarova. Jessica Shuran Yu completed a senior thesis entitled SAFX, The Lack of Queer Sex Ed and Its Effect on Queer Women and Non-Binary People, directed by Sharif Molabokis. Natalia Zabala completed a senior thesis entitled A Study of WhatsApp Interactions as Public Sites of Identity Negotiation for Colombian Women at Home and in Diaspora, directed by Natalia Mendoza Rockwell. Congratulations to the members of the Honors Program Class of 2023. And now please welcome Dean Laura Riccio back to the stage to present the names of the students who have been inducted into Phi Beta Kappa.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is a big list, folks. Founded in 1776, Phi Beta Kappa is the oldest, largest, and most widely recognized academic honor society in the United States for students who've shown excellence in a broad liberal arts curriculum. The following students were elected to membership by the Fordham chapter. As your name is read, please rise and remain standing until the names of all the students inducted into Phi Beta Kappa have been read. And again, please hold your applause until all the names have been presented. We start with Gabriel A. Abrazaldo, Aaliyah Ali, Luke Aubin, Ivy J. Austin, Afra M. Bandagi, Michaela Lynn Bassick, Allie Rose Beekman, Samantha May Borer, Gabriel C. Brennan, Emmeline Breezak, Isabel Buneo, Victoria Cristina Calizzo, David Castaneda, Elizabeth Shui Caudill, Malika G. Chandakar, Julia G. Curtin, Alyssa Catherine Dodrell, Emma Marie Durocher. It's one of those French names, Durocher. With an Italian last name, I deal with this quite a lot. Durocher, pardon me. Catherine Elizabeth Eschel, Tristan Edwards, Emily Ellis, Megan Alice Evans, Ashira Fisher Waxpress, Molly Ellis Frank, Jenna Marie Goldblatt, Isabel E. Gonzalez, Levi C. Griesing, Pernota O. Hassan, Samuel Thomas Hayden, Anna Marie Heldorfer, Sophia Claire Elizabeth Henderson, Gabrielle T. Hernandez, Alyssa Hughes, Trong May Nguyen, Daisy D. Jinadu, Dylan M. Johnson, Jada D. Jones, Arbor Cadiu, Augustus Kellerman, Emma Jane Raga Kunkley, Joseph Kotke, Emily Elizabeth Lai, Yuming Liu, Abigail Lowe, Alyssa M. Macaluso, Daniel J. Malave, Salma S. Mansour, Audrey Claire Martin, Samantha Matthews, Lindsay M. McCrossan, Margaret McNamara, Savannah B. Missick, Anna Grace Nowak, Victoria Pantages, Astha Patel, Ava Michelle Peabody, Emily Paper, Alyssa Cortez Peralta, Julian L. Seitz Pistor, Mahmuda B. Rakib, Kayla Y. Ramdas, William P. Rossiter. I'm sorry. William P. Rossiter. It is a plain English name. William P. Rossiter. I don't have to make it Rossiter. Rossiter. Okay. Eric Schneider. Schneider. Eric Schneider is actually going to Côte d'Ivoire, I believe. Isn't he? Okay, sorry. I digress. Meredith M. Scoot, Isabella Scipione, Rasa O. Sinekovas, Madeline C. Sinovich, Catherine Hope Stelma, Olivia Stern, Allison Stouffer, Madeline G. Travers, Jenna Z. Zinn, Isabella Rebecca Obriaco, Slav B. Velkov, Krina Vora, Cooper Wilson, Trevor Whitesky, Angeline Elizabeth Wright, Yuan Yin, Miley Yoon, Yihao Yu, Natalia Elizabeth Zabala, Peter Zernis IV. Congratulations to the newest members of Phi Beta Kappa. Thank you so much, and forgive me. In a way, the phonetic spellings almost make it worse. They really do. Next time, no phonetic spellings. Okay, at this time, I invite Dr. Marisa Iglesias to the stage to celebrate the achievements of the students who've won nationally competitive external awards.
Hi, everyone. It is my pleasure to celebrate those members of the class of 2023 who have brought honor to themselves and the college by pursuing prestigious fellowships. I want to thank all of the faculty, staff, and students who have made these achievements possible. As your name is read, you know what to do. Please rise and remain standing until the names of all students who have won fellowships have been read. Naimal Chisti, Danae Chung, Emma Jane Konkali, Emily Lai, Caitlin Lieb, Abigail Lowe, Alyssa Peralta, and Eric Schneider. Please remain standing for one moment. So I completely goofed and didn't tell you what they were going to do. So let me just tell you that very quickly. Naimal Chisti has received a critical language scholarship to Morocco because it's all very impressive. Danae Chung has been named as an alternate for the Fulbright teaching assistantship. Emily Lai has received a Gilman. Caitlin Lieb has received a CLS Spark Scholarship. Abigail Lowe has been named a finalist for FAO Schwartz. Alyssa Peralta has been named as an alternate for the Fulbright English Teaching Assistantship, and Eric Schneider, as Dina Riccio said, has won a Fulbright to Cote d'Ivoire for an English Teaching Assistantship. So congratulations now, my apologies. And now please welcome Josie Gregoire, Assistant Dean for Seniors, who will present the names of seniors who have been inducted into the FCLC chapters of the Alpha Sigma Nu and Sigma Chi Honor Societies.
Welcome. As your name is read, please rise and remain standing. Gabrielle Arbazaldo, Aaliyah Ally, Michaela Basic, Ali Beekman, Tiziana Capizzi, Malika Chandakor, Camille Sibila, Jacob Chaplicki, Brianna DiCamillo, Catherine Ischel, Emily Ellis, Jenna Goldblatt, Isabella Gonzalez, Dylan Johnson, Augustus Kellerman, Emma Jane Conkley, Joseph Kotke, Samantha Matthews, Julia Milchanovsky, Savannah Missick, Anna Nowak, Bennett Reinhardt, Autumn Robinson, Isabella Scipione, John Spade, Madeline Travers, Cooper Wilson, Natalia Zabala. Congratulations. I'd like to also recognize the students who've been elected to membership in Sigma Chi, not Xi, Chi, the Scientific Research Society. Again, please rise and remain standing when your name is called. Emma Brezik, Cody Chen, Julia Milchanovsky, Maria Netgen, Isvat Soha, Grace Tierney, and Grace Traziak. Congratulations to the newest members of Alpha Sigma Nu and Sigma Chi. now please welcome FCLC senior Raquan Fuller to the stage. Raquan has been an inspiration to many during his time at FCLC, and it gives us great pleasure to invite him to share his thoughts about studying the arts, in particular theater, at Fordham University.
Hey y'all, I look good, don't I? No, I'm teasing. First of all, I just want to say congratulations to everybody here before I go into my speech. You all should be very, very, very proud of what you accomplished, and tomorrow is our day. I remember the first time I wanted to audition for something. I was in elementary school, and it was for the 25th anniversary show at my school district locals playhouse. I told my mama I wanted to sing Move from Dreamgirls, and we ended up settling on the classic audition song of Happy Birthday. Needless to say, while I didn't get the part, I gained something else, passion. Being young and having ADHD, it was hard for me to focus. It was hard for me to sit still, and in the world of theater, your body is your instrument, and I was encouraged to play. In middle and high school, I began to get rigorous, and I dedicated to my craft of acting. I first stumbled across Fordham while looking for schools to audition for when I was in high school. The theater program was the perfect storm of what I wanted in my college experience. I wanted theater training while also being able to learn about the things around me and potentially double major. I waited too late. I have my heart set on it, and I work for it. I auditioned at the Unified Arts Auditions in Chicago, where I went in nervous as heck, and I left smiling with confidence so bright a mountain couldn't cover me. My journey at Fordham began in 2019, just like the rest of us. Being a Black, first-gen college student from a lower socioeconomic background, NYC was Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and I had just won my golden ticket. My first year was a year of discovery of myself. What kind of actor I wanted to be, what can Fordham give me, who are my friends, what are my boundaries, what are other people's boundaries, how I say yes or say no, how do I use the subway, what I like, who I like, the list goes on. Then the pandemic happened, and everything had to stop and reset itself. I worked at Lowe's. Everybody knows I worked at Lowe's. I worked at Lowe's. I remember having on my red vest. Hi, welcome to Lowe's. And then I was in class at the same time. So I'd be like, yes, and then for the discussion question, da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, here's your total. Is that all I can do for you today? Thank you. It's a great time. But after the summer of 2020, more during the summer of 2020, and all the racial injustices that are still actually happening in our country, the theater industry was called out on its racist practices. This led to the BIPOC students of Fordham Theater challenging the ideas and the structure of the Fordham Theater program. We sent in our list of demands of what we wanted to see the change. From there, I became a chair of the Fordham Theater BIPOC Alliance, along with Amari McNeil. Having to be a student and an advocate for an entire program is hard. It's hard to be working at Lowe's and being in difficult and hard meetings with our faculty, and it is hard being a Black artist in America. But I would say I am grateful for that experience. I am grateful that I was able to rectify the insecure feelings of a 13-year-old Raekwon. I am glad to know that my voice matters, whether people listen or not. I am so happy I got to use my artistry for more than a vessel for other people's pleasure or pain, but I got to use it for myself. As a Black artist, I want the theater world to truly practice equity, diversity, and inclusion, and not just put it on their website or say it in the program as a way to check off a box. If you have a culture-specific show, have a culture-specific directing and design team. If you can't understand why what you're doing is harmful, either learn or leave. And being in an industry that once again operates on community and not just capital. I say this for Fordham Theater as well. We have come so far, but we have a long way to go. Please don't let the ball drop. Keep going. Studying the arts at Fordham has blessed me to be able to perform. I have been in Airline Highway, The Drag, Tartuffe, La Cocina, and each has shaped me as a potter does to clay. My craft has been refined here. Fordham has taught me I am not just an actor, but I'm an artist. Performing does not define me. I also have a passion for administrative work in the theater, and I'm proud to do that with my job at the National Black Theater. To my fellow graduates, keep growing and glowing. Remember, you can't spell imperfections without perfect, which means you already are. What is for you will never miss you. The journey matters more than the destination. And please, remember to say hi to the Allen's Deli guys in the halal cart, because they would miss us, and I would miss their discount that wasn't really a discount. They just put no tax on the screen. Thank you all so much, and that's my speech. And next we have Michael.
I'm Dr. Matthew Gelbart, Associate Professor of Music, and I'm delighted to announce the names of students who have received honors and awards in the arts. As your name is read, please rise and remain standing until the names of all the students have been read. Please hold your applause until the end. Bryson Clark has received the Lipani Award in Visual Arts. Catherine Z. Heaton has received the Lipani Award in Visual Arts. Slav B. Velkov has received the James Story Memorial Award in Visual Arts. The following students will graduate with honors in their field of study. Alexander Alipio, Theater. Michaela Bassick, New Media and Digital Design. Ali Beekman, New Media and Digital Design. Raekwon Fuller, Theater. Samuel Hayden, New Media and Digital Design. Abigail Lowe, Theater. Emily Meja, New Media and Digital Design. Kyla McCallum, New Media and Digital Design. Anna Nowak, Music. Clarissa Rangel, New Media and Digital Design. Tamia Strickland, Dance. The following students will graduate with honorable mention in their field. Janae Beaver, Theater. Oh, gotta turn the page the other way. Dana DeVries, Theater. Mars Neri, Theater. Congratulations to these talented artists. Thank you. Please be seated. And now I would like to invite FCLC senior Anna Nowak to the stage to speak about the humanities at Fordham University.
Is there anything that you would die for? I know that might sound dramatic, but history holds stories of individuals and peoples for whom that question was not abstract. This semester, I took a class examining the role of Catholicism in El Salvador around the time of their civil war. There were a number of Catholics, including the 6 Jesuits at the UCA, who were killed because they stood in solidarity with the poor and spoke out against their oppression. The witness of the martyrs may seem inspiring, but ultimately removed from our lived experiences, given that their context was one defined by violence and drastic wealth disparities. However, we live in a world where hundreds of millions still live in extreme poverty, and armed conflict is still occurring. This question, is there anything you would die for, is still live. Reflecting on it, and on the figures who have answered yes, asks you to consider how you're called to spend the time you have on Earth. My study of the humanities as a theology major, philosophy minor, and a Catholic studies concentrator with a particular interest in ethics, has involved dealing academically with matters that I imagine non-humanities students have pondered at a personal level outside of their classes. Who do I want to be? What does it mean to be with and for others? What do I believe in? What should the world look like? Without the moral orientation that the humanities bring, without their interrogation of what matters, and importantly, what doesn't matter, other disciplines are left at best impoverished and at worst dangerous. The questions the humanities ask are of dire importance, and I'm grateful to have been able to spend so much of my time at Fordham exploring them. Studying theology in particular has blurred the line between my academic progress and my spiritual and moral growth. Throughout my time at Fordham, I've brushed against potentially life-altering understandings of the Christian mission and have, on occasion, felt my soul shimmer as I saw with clarity, for a moment, how I might be called to live. To have those experiences while doing homework or in the sleep-deprived haze of final paper writing is amazing. It's a blessing. I hope to pursue graduate studies in theology, but until then, I can move forward with a humanities foundation that has shaped my understanding of my role in the world. Thank you.
Hello, lovely humans. My name is Dr. Christiana Zenner. I'm Associate Professor of Theology. I teach also in Environmental Studies and American Studies, and it is my enormous pleasure to share the names of those students who have received, wait for it, honors and awards in the humanities. As your name is read, please rise. We will hold applause until the end. Tiziana Capizzi has received the Art History Award as well as the Vasari Lecturer Award. Angelina Diamante has received the Vasari Lecturer Award. Luca Morelli Fonseca has received the Jane B. Aaron Memorial Prize in Philosophy. Augustus Kellerman has received the Ayakaria Award in Theology. Maya Perry has received the Vasari Lecturer Award. Grace Thomas has received the Margaret Lamb Writing to the Right Hand Margin Prize in English. And the following students will graduate with honors in their field of study. Aliyah Ali, Spanish Language and Literature. Kevin Bogudsky, History. Maggie Boros, Philosophy. Victoria Carmenate, Spanish Studies, as well as Latin American and Latino Studies. Catherine Chung, Classical Languages. Camille Cibula, Philosophy. Megan Evans, French Language and Literature. Gabriella Frasetti, English. Maria Acosto Gacalinto, Latin American and Latino Studies. Arbor Cadiu, History. Caridad Kinsella, English. Joseph Kotke, Spanish Studies. Caitlin Lieb, French Studies. Luca Morella Fonseca, Philosophy. Michelle Mugen, Philosophy. Luz Piazza-Rizzi, Comparative Literature. Carlos Viesca, Latin American and Latino Studies. Angeline Wright, History. Yuan Yin, Comparative Literature. Keishin Zheng, Chinese Studies. And the following students will graduate with honorable mention in their field. Isabel Evans, French and Francophone Studies. Emmeline Brijac, Spanish Language and Literature. And congratulations to all these high-achieving scholars. Thank you. And we now welcome Senior Andrew Dressner to the stage to speak about his time studying at Fordham in the STEM fields.
The sciences at FCLC have made a tremendous impact on my academic career and have shaped me into the student I am today. I would truly like to thank the science faculty for all their support and encouragement throughout my 4 years here. Starting out as an eager first year, excited for what college would bring, I became very impressed with the natural science department and knew I'd be in good hands as I embarked on my 4-year journey as a pre-med natural science major. It is clear to me that the wonderful faculty across all of Fordham, and especially in the sciences, have allowed me to be where I am today. The dedication to students that I have seen in the science faculty is unmatched. This dedication is infectious to myself and other students, and it is evident in the faculty's openness to answering questions, helping to understand difficult material, and giving resources to anyone who is eager to learn more beyond the class. The department's encouragement of student research allowed me to gain invaluable experience being in an organic chemistry lab, where I was able to run my reactions, learn some more chemistry, and get a feeling for what it's like to contribute to the science community. The sciences at Fordham have also helped me grow by creating classroom environments that really challenge me to be the best student I can. Every class, no matter if I found it easy or difficult, has really made me work not only for the grade, but for the valuable insights into the field and the life skills learned in the process. I think it is very evident among all my peers in the sciences what kind of impact this has made. I certainly don't think I would have been able to go through the med school application process and be accepted without the experiences and support that the sciences have given me. The value of the sciences at Fordham is also seen in the wide breadth of passions we have. Among the students and faculty in this discipline, there's a wide range of interests from academic to hobbies. In this way, everyone contributes their own piece of outside experience to the rest of the science community here, enriching us further and developing our personal passions even more. Now, with commencement right around the corner, it is time for the students of the sciences to use all that we have learned from this wonderful discipline and begin to apply it to our own future academic or career pursuits. What we have gained here should never be forgotten, only expanded upon in the years to come.
Good luck, Andrew, for med school. I come from a family with a lot of people in the medical profession. It takes a lot of hard work, so good luck for that. I was the black sheep who became a mathematician. My name is Raghuram. I'm a professor of mathematics and the associate chair of the math department here. It's my great pleasure to announce the names of students who have received awards and honors in the STEM subjects. As your name is read, please rise and remain standing until the names of all students have been read. And I see a non-empty set of students who are already standing, and if you're standing, continue to remain standing. Please hold your applause until all the names have been presented. Julia Milchanovsky has received the Michael J. Passarelli Award. Daniela Lopez has received the C-STEP Scholar Award. The following students will graduate with honors in their field of study. Zershi Chen, Mathematics. Jesse Conklin, Environmental Sciences. Andrew Dressner, Natural Sciences. Yuming Liu, Computer Science. Julia Milchanovsky, Natural Sciences. Elise Parnoff, Mathematics. Grace Tierney, Neuroscience. Congratulations to all these talented scientists and mathematicians. You may sit. Thank you. And with that, I would like to invite FCLC senior Natalia Zabala up to here to speak about her experiences studying social sciences at FCLC.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, congratulations to everyone here, and thank you to all those who support us. I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience in the social sciences. I started out as an international studies student in 2019. For those of you not familiar with that program, international studies is an interdisciplinary major at FCLC, a major that draws from the disciplines of economics, history, modern languages, anthropology, and political science. My intro course jumped off my studies in this program with readings on international politics and diplomacy. But then a pandemic hit in the second semester of the first year, and I, like every other student in this room, found myself in confined spaces physically and mentally as I rethought my life plan. I decided to move forward with the two disciplines I enjoyed the most from my old major and the foreign language that I had always enjoyed studying. And this is the story of how I became a double major in political science and anthropology with a minor in French and Francophone studies. What I would come to find in the following 3 years of my education at Fordham is though I had decided to change my major from the interdisciplinary international studies to the discrete departments of political science and anthropology and sociology, my experience would remain very interdisciplinary. Despite being a student of two very different departments in the realm of social sciences, I still found my classes spoke to each other. In classes like race, identity, and globalization, and anthropology of political violence, our readings came from political scientists, economists, and anthropologists alike. In 1 week of the second semester of my senior year, I had the same author's writings assigned for my senior values seminar and my class for political history of sex and sexuality in the same week. Even my French classes talked about politics, especially concerning the election in France, and they taught us students the language for how to discuss issues of immigration and the separation of church and state. This crossover in my education also contributed to my ability to see these interconnections between these social sciences at play during my study abroad experience in France, when Russia invaded Ukraine and France re-elected Emmanuel Macron. From studies on the politicization of femininity in France to the ontology of political violence, I learned alongside my peers about the importance of intersecting axes of oppression, cultural relativism, and the overall importance of an interdisciplinary approach. And I saw all these phenomena at work in the world around me. The social sciences at FCLC taught me that not only do classes speak to each other, but so do seemingly mutually exclusive aspects of our lives. Art speaks to politics, capitalism informs our understandings of systemic racism, and laws restricting nonconformity of gender and sexual expression implicate the existence of every citizen in the public space. Social sciences allow us to study these topics and problems that transcend the delineation of disciplines for what they are, obstacles that require interdisciplinary solutions that combine the findings of political scientists, anthropologists, sociologists, linguists, political scientists, and economists alike. I intend to use this knowledge in my work in the realm of higher education administration, where analysis of language and cultural practices allows one to better understand how to create welcoming spaces in global institutions. It is my hope that I, along with my peers here today, remember to search for these connections to broaden our understandings, challenge implicit assumptions, and act as informed and conscious members of society. Fordham's departments within the social scientists, especially through the faculty, have given us the tools to identify these connections. It is up to us to put the skills into practice through our words and actions. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Sarah Lockhart. I'm an associate professor of political science and director of the International Studies program. And thank you, Natalia, for describing both of my fields better than I could myself. I'm sorry we lost you in international studies, but at least we kept you in political science. And if you want to do recruitment events with me, you're really good at it. It is my distinct pleasure to announce the names of students who have received honors and awards in the social sciences. As your name is read, please rise and go crazy. No, remain standing until all the names have been read, and then hold your applause until the end. The first one is Naimal Chisti, who has received the Joseph A. O'Hare S.J. Humanitarian Award. Mezaben Mahesan, who has received the Olivia J. Hooker Award in Psychology. Alyssa Macaluso has received the American Studies Award. And the following students will graduate with honors in their field of study. Emmeline Brizak, Psychology. Shania Diaz, Economics. Catherine Aschel, International Studies. Emily Ellis, Sociology. Ashira Fisher-Wachpress, Anthropology. Jenna Goldblatt, International Studies. Gabrielle Hernandez, Anthropology. Isabella Lazarino, Anthropology. Gabriela Lopez, Sociology. Mezaban Mahesan, Psychology. Asta Patel, Sociology. Mahmouda Rakib, Sociology. Meredith Scoot, International Studies. Rasa Sinakovis, Social Work. Etana Sissoko, Psychology. Allison Stouffer, Political Science. Madeline Travers, Psychology. Jenna Zinn, Sociology. Isabella Ubrieko, Sociology. Ruotian Wang, Psychology. Cooper Wilson, International Studies. Natalia Zubala, Anthropology and Political Science. Keishin Zhang, Psychology. The following students will graduate with honorable mention in their field of study. Gabrielle Abrazado, International Studies. John Bellamy, Political Science. Miles Daniels, Economics. Emma Jane Concoli, International Studies. And Nicholas Scotchy, Economics. Congratulations to all of these distinguished scholars.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tristan Edwards, and it is with great privilege, pleasure, and honor to be your keynote speaker for the second annual Fordham Lincoln Center Awards ceremony. Now, for all of those that know me, y'all know I come from a Baptist background, and I do know how to articulate to the heavens, so I will try to keep this brief, but I will keep it black, okay? All right. So looking around this room today, I see bodacious blues, yappy yellows, gorgeous greens, pretty purples, and opulent oranges beaming across my eyes. So it might be odd that my speech today is not filled with an equally vibrant and vivid message. Instead, it revolves around the color gray. The color gray is known for being a neutral color, the gradient between black and white. Gray is also the color of intellect and compromise, whatever that means. In all of my years at Fordham, strutting down the halls of Lowenstein, bedecked in my blue and pink turtlenecks and colorful pants, I have never felt happy wearing the color gray. Its bland, dull, and lifeless hue brings me to a place of deep, deep, deep despair. It reminds me of the rainy days in my hometown of Bernie, Texas. Gray also reminds me of the soaked grass I used to cry into after being bullied by my peers for being too black and too effeminate. Gray reminds me that I will never be white and I will always be black. Therefore, every step, my every move, and my every moment is calculated. Gray reminds me of the deep isolation I felt as a theater-loving, bow-tie-wearing, flamboyant boy in a town that systematically opposed my freedom. Gray has always felt like captivity, and when I came to Fordham, I was desperate to escape it. So like many of us, when we did come to Fordham, I thought I had escaped the gray. Finally, I was stepping outside of the mundane, refusing to downsize my dreams in lieu of my experiences in my hometown. I was ready to set my future ablaze or with fiery reds and opulent oranges. And I was ready to seize every opportunity and take the city by storm. And I'm sure many of you can relate to this sentiment as well. And then, the gray appeared again, this time in the form of a worldwide pandemic. The dreams we spent years cultivating inside the well of our minds were now being upended with the click of a switch. Our hopes of a bigger, brighter, more vibrant future were demolished before our eyes as stay-at-home orders relegated us to bedrooms, living rooms, and kitchens. In the wake of our coping, some of us lost family members, mentors, colleagues, and loved ones. Some of us lost the zest and passion we came to Fordham with, struggling to crawl beneath our beds of depression and anxiety. Every morning, we opened our laptops hoping, praying, and pleading that things would return to normal. Time kept ticking, but the world felt like it was at a standstill. Everything felt gray again, mundane, lifeless, dull. However, it is within this gray that you and I found our resilience. We became leaders of the Zoom world, experts in unmuting ourselves, or experts in purposely glitching when, I don't even have to continue, y'all know exactly what I mean. And no shame, we've all been there. Some of us founded new clubs and organizations, and some of us tapped into new creative passions. Some of us didn't do anything but survive, but we got pretty darn good at doing it, okay? So when we came back to campus, albeit as freshmen again, there was an undeniable and indescribable energy booming throughout campus. You all blossomed, having been put through the ringer, and you were invincible in the face of your many adversities that you have surpassed today. You made it to the other side, not only alive, but thriving and excellent. So why do I share this with you today? Because although we are no longer in lockdown and enduring the drudgery of online learning, I implore you to continue living in the gray. Again, as I look around at the faces beaming across this room and the endearing faces of family members bursting with pride at your accomplishments, I am filled with gratitude, peace, and admiration. For the last 4 years, or 3 years in my case, you have braved and surmounted the often unexpected and unimaginable rigors of college. You did so while remaining keenly aware of your purpose, or doggedly driven to find it. You did so amidst a worldwide pandemic that shuttered your college experience and exposed the grimmest corners of injustice plaguing our world. You did so by remaining tethered to your visions of justice, never relenting until you eyeballed change in the face and grabbed it with your hands. You did so alongside the rich friendships fostered in Lowenstein, on the Plaza, and the Ram Cafe, Schmeltzer's, the Lawn, McMahon, McKeon, or the Law School building, which we are forbidden to go into, but we do it anyway, okay? And you did so amidst institutional bureaucracy and injustices still being remedied today. And can I say, I could not have gotten through it without Raekwon Fuller and Amara McNeil. Child, I'm gonna shout y'all out. So thank y'all. And you did so with the help of your village, including your family, your mentors, your advocates, your supporters, and yes, even your adversaries. So as I look into this crowd and realize the impact you have made on this campus and the broader New York City community in general, thus far, there is not a stint of doubt in my mind that you will leave Fordham ready to set your future ablaze with the same kind of rigor, commitment, zest, passion, and vision for justice you came to Fordham with. So we honor you today for being the trailblazer that you are and the excellence achieved during your time here at Fordham. However, even as we honor you today, we must all remember one thing: to live in the gray. You who have soared the seas of depression, anxiety, panic, and failure and still remain anchored to your core. You who resisted every opportunity to drown in despair and emerge resilient. You who exhibited excellence so boldly and bodaciously despite those exhausted, teary-eyed, deafening nights. You who bestowed your talents upon others as blessings. You who has much to worry about now, but you who have shown that the impossible, the unimaginable, the unfathomable is possible, not just for you, but for those who come after you. So to my fellow graduates, as we accept our awards tonight and our diplomas tomorrow, beautifully bedecked in our rosy reds, bright blues, gorgeous greens, and yappy yellows, remember to leave room for the gray. It is the land of all possibility, truth, and humanity. It is the land in which only you can cultivate. Thank you.
Very difficult act to follow. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Burns. I'm from the Office of Alumni Relations. I'm our director for reunion programs and affinity groups, and it's my pleasure to be here this afternoon to present the Alumni Chair Award. What is that? Well, this award... It's that. We don't mince words. This award is presented to a senior who inspires their peers, who achieves excellence in intellectual and extracurricular endeavors, and who makes contributions that will, most importantly here, outlast one's time as an undergraduate. Above all, this award is presented to an individual who embodies the Jesuit tenets of cura personalis and magis, as well as the commitment to serve as a ram for and with others. But it doesn't stop at commencement. The award is a symbol of leadership, and we challenge the recipient to do more, to take up a leadership role in the alumni community as a member of the Young Alumni Committee or the regional or affinity chapters, as a mentor to current students, and above all, as a servant leader among peers and a model of unwavering devotion and service to Alma Mater Fordham. In consultation with Deans Laura Arricchio and Josiane Gregoire, and on behalf of the Fordham University Alumni Association and Fordham's community of more than 200,000 living alumni, I commend and congratulate this year's recipient of the FCLC Alumni Chair Award. Now, here to announce it, here to announce the recipient of this year's award is FCLC Dean Laura Arricchio.
Thank you so much. On behalf of Fordham College Lincoln Center and the alumni community, it gives me great pleasure to invite Amara McNeil to the stage to sit in her alumni chair. I'm sorry. So I actually, and I told Amara this already, I actually did not write a speech for Amara. And the reason that I did not write a speech for Amara is that I wanted to speak straight from my heart. So that's also an excuse for any flubs that I might make. Works both ways. In all seriousness, though, so you have already heard about Amara's co-leadership of the BIPOC Alliance. This has been mentioned by many people in Fordham's theater program. That has been an absolutely transformative group on this campus. The work that they've done has been bold. The work that they've done has already had tremendous lasting impacts, and the work that they've done is going to continue long after they graduate. And so when I sat and read the description of the Alumni Chair Award, I felt that no one I knew embodied this spirit of this award more than Amara. But I also want to just tell you a personal story, which is how I got to know Amara. So this is the personal part. So, and Amara's laughing already because she knows. Was it fall of 2019 or very early spring of 2020? Yeah, probably fall of 2019, okay. Amara came to my office, as many students do, to complain. It's a true story. Now, I basically think that I should actually put gets yelled at and one of my talents, or like on your CV you're supposed to write your skills. I'm very good at getting yelled at. It's one of the requirements of this job, and it's one. It is a nice, right? I mean, if you're gonna get yelled at, you might as well be comfortable, right? Okay. So I get yelled at a lot. Amara didn't yell, please. I don't mean to say that she yelled. She did not yell. But I do often have students come to me with complaints, concerns, upsets of varying degrees. However, when Amara came to talk to me about her concerns, my response was to listen, but also then to say to her, you know what? I want to found this new group, a student advisory group, to help me, to help the dean, to help the dean's office be more connected to the student body. Would you be on it? Because I want somebody like you, somebody who's invested in this community, somebody who's going to tell me the truth, even if they think I might not want to hear it. But somebody who's going to be effective, productive, committed, and darn, she said yes. And so a pandemic happened, and so on and so forth. And so it took me a little while to get this student advisory group off the ground. But when it got off the ground, Amara was the first person who I reached out to and asked if she would please join the group. And it's been a privilege to work with her and the other members of the inaugural FCLC Student Advisory Group for the past few years. But I really just cannot say enough about how much my experience of Fordham has been connected to Amara's experience of Fordham, and how grateful I am to her for all the work that she has done, and for her work in leaving this place much better than she found it. So thank you, Amara.
Celebrate the achievements of this really remarkable, talented group of students. You embody the best of what Fordham University has to offer. And on behalf of everyone in the Dean's office, I just want to say that we feel honored and blessed that we have been a part of this journey, and we can't wait to see what comes next for you. We say it all the time, but go forth and set the world on fire. The world is yours. Please write to us often and let us know all the wonderful things that you're doing. It has been the joy of my life to work with you all. So congratulations.
And of